This is the part where we have witty banter.
We don't have... Do we have that? Is it witty?
We try.
The only thing I could say is I understand the meaning of Labor Day, even though it's not Labor Day right now, but I understand it because I did labor today.
I thought you were talking about baby labor, and I was like, excuse me? Don't ever try to just...
Ew,
don't.
no.
It's terrible. Talk about the shed building.
Well, it's not done. Still doesn't have a door, but we got all the pieces off because it's just like a big plastic 3D puzzle, and the roof was like impossible to get on. But it's on there, and it's never coming off, or else.
Looks great.
Did you see what Mom said that Dad called it?
An outhouse?
An outhouse.
And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, maybe a little. Damn it.
Honestly, I bet you people are going to think it's Bear's doghouse.
Yeah, so I'll send you the final product when it's all done. And Moes, I will put the gas in the shed. Don't worry.
Good.
It's going to go in there. It's going to be better spot. Extra 3 feet away from the house.
I like that. And if it all goes up in flames, it'll burn up an outhouse and not your house.
Yeah.
Sisters, sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters, sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello.
That's
my Arnold.
Do you have a weird pun to tell us? Oh, my.
Kate, we're not alone.
No, but should we introduce ourselves in case...
We should do that first. We just talked about that. I didn't listen.
Bridget's having a beer. Okay, listeners, so we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And we got a special guest. Who is it, Bridge?
It is Moes. And if you're thinking, what is that? That is, his last name. And so that's who it is. It is my husband.
Whee!
What an intro.
Wow. Hi, Moes.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. We're happy you're here.
Katie appreciated that you filled out the form on the website. Scroll down. And you have requested movies for a while, and we haven't given them all as much attention as it should, so this is your time to shine.
Oh, pressure's on.
Moes, do you want to introduce our movie this week?
All right, so this week's movie is the 1985 classic Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, a young Alyssa Milano, and other folks that really kind of disappeared into the ether of the 80s and early 90s. Yeah, how was that?
That was
fantastic.
That was great.
Do you want to do like a little more in-depth synopsis to tell people like what's the plot of the movie if they've never seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Arnold Schwarzenegger is a retired commando, and he's living in peace with his daughter, Alyssa Milano. And everything is all fine and well in the hills of California until evil men from his past appear out of nowhere and attack him and kidnap his daughter. And he has a limited amount of time to beat these foes and rescue his daughter. And he's helped along the way by Ray Dawn Chong, comes his sidekick.
Cindy!
No, I know it's Cindy, but I've never seen her in anything else. So when you said that earlier, Mo was like, yeah, there's a bunch of people in this who like don't do anything anymore, or they're not in stuff. I was like, that lady, that's who I thought of.
Yeah, I didn't. She did kind of disappear. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
What else is important to mention? Like, I don't know if they intended for it to be funny or serious or, like, what do you think of all that?
Oh, the action scene's funny or serious? I do not think they meant the fight scenes to be campy. So when you look at this movie as a whole and you look back at it, and like, it comes off as campy in some of the fight scenes. But I think it was a product of its time.
Well, is this the movie that the phrase, I'll be back? That's this movie? Why did I think it was Terminator?
Keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
I was like, wait. But, yeah, a lot of one-liners. Most of them I didn't write down because I was like, I'm good. But some of them I thought were so fucking funny. And the best one was at the very end where the bad guy gets like a pipe thrown through his body, and then he's connected to a steam something, and then he has steam coming out of his body through the pipe, and Arnold goes, let off some steam, Bennett.
The I'll Be Back came from Terminator that came out in
That's
1984. That was a year before, but then he said it again, and boy, oh boy.
It became his catchphrase.
We are also going to just put up Commando movie lines because...
You should, because there was a lot.
I cannot. I think that was a good description.
Now, Moes, you requested this movie. Why did you request this movie?
So this is like if you asked Siri for a 1980s action movie. This is like the prototypical one. This is like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's one-liners, and it's pointless explosions.
Yeah.
And it's just, it hits all the notes of kind of that genre of like mid to late 80s action flicks.
Yeah, he was in a lot of freaking action movies in the 80s. Because when Bridge was describing the movie, like doing a build-up to it before she said what it was going to be, I thought it was going to be like Predator. But it also could have been like Terminator. Like, it was like, I was like, there's so many this could be. But it's this one.
We did this. We did like his first movie, and he basically worked every year for like 10 years straight of action movies.
Oh my God.
Flipped into comedies, starting with Twins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
with
not
Danny DeVito.
where they get pregnant. Not that.
Well, then that's Junior. That was like started to get one of his like last ones, and he eventually ended, and that started his like political career, right?
Yes, and Terminator was his big breakout. And then throughout the 80s and early 90s, he was just this bankable star in all these action movies. And then 2003, he became governor.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, should we get into it? What do you think?
Sure.
Okay, now, Bridge, you're gonna laugh when I say this, and tell me if you thought this, or if my brain is just forever and always changed since watching The Sopranos, because the first thing I thought when I saw this dump truck is, this is not a dump truck. There's some shit about to go down. And then the fucking movie. Okay, the cuts in this movie were part of the comedy, but I don't think they meant it to be. So that's number one. Number two, it immediately cuts from the dump trucks that I'm suspicious of to a couple in bed of a man who's kind of balding and a woman with blonde hair. And I was like, is this fucking Tony and Carmela? What are we doing? What's happening? Because this is before Sopranos, so I'm like confused.
And he technically like came out of his driveway
in his robe.
Very Tony Soprano. But from this scene, for most of the movie, all I felt like was Scarface.
Oh.
Which came out in 1983, and this came out in 85. So I think there's a lot of like... and just guys like... like, you know, just like so many machine gun hits.
Yeah.
But we get into action right away, huh?
I thought, so that actually stuck out to me. That was like, within the first 3 minutes, they're gunning somebody down.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
There's someone who gets murdered, and then they do car theft, and then they do exploding a boat. And that's like all within, I don't know, like less than 10 minutes.
The car theft, too, is a great line where he's talking to the car salesman. He goes, you know what I like best? The car salesman goes,
this fucking guy.
What's that? And then he goes, the price. And then literally runs over him.
Honestly, I mean, I've had a lot of bad experiences at car dealerships. I hate this idea. Would I run over my salesman? Probably not, but like, I think that's kind of awesome. You just, you know, you're like, I'm over this. Bye-bye.
It is so 80s. It is like, can you imagine like today's Carvana shows that clip and they're like, actually... there is a lot of people who get run over for car salesmen, and this is why we need car vending machines.
I would love that. So
lots of people are dying.
Let's submit that to Carvana and get our credit for that. Oh my God.
The car dealer, he sold it. They told him okay, Bob, be the prototypical slimy car sales guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, got it.
They're like, be so annoying, someone wants to run you over. And he's like, I got it. And he did it. It was great.
The other thing Moes and I talked about is the true villain in this movie is the guy Bennett.
Oh my god.
But we felt like that guy that stole the car, whose name is Cook, was a better villain.
He was like sinister.
Yeah.
But he was a Green Beret, and that's all I know about him. And Arnold likes to eat Green Berets for breakfast, and he's hungry. And that was another fucking line I remember.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was 38 years old.
37 or 38.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Arnold.
That's a good dad age, I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk about some technology things that were hilarious? Because your point of like murdering garbage men to Cadillac stealing cars to boats being blown up.
Yeah.
The boat being blown up was like Kevin McAllister gadget where he had that big long antenna and he was like, I'm gonna press this button and it's gonna blow up a boat. I was like, whoa,
And it
1985.
did. Moes, I don't know if you've worked with weapons in your time serving. You were in the Air Force, right?
I was in the Air Force.
But I may try to ask you some weapons questions later on, so...
He's a good weapons person.
Okay, that's good, because I had questions. But we move on from all of that death and destruction, and we cut to Arnold. He's gathering firewood.
No. He's carrying a tree. He's carrying an actual tree.
The best is they're like, okay, guys, here's Arnold in the woods. And you're like, yeah, I know Arnold. Cool. And then the camera fucking cuts to one of his biceps zoomed in as if, like, that's a character. I need to know what even...
At some point, Moes said to me, he goes, this entire movie is Arnold Schwarzenegger picking things up and pushing them over. And I just think, do you think the creator of, what's that fitness thing? CrossFit. Do you think the creator of CrossFit sees this movie and he's like, that's it! We just all need to be like Arnold, carrying things and pushing over cars and carrying trees.
Carrying little children for no reason. They have legs that can move, but okay, cool. Also, this is the first time in the movie where we hear the weird, I guess, signature music, which involves an aggressive saxophone. And the first time we hear it, Arnold makes this face, like, he makes, like, a weird face right when the saxophone came in, and I was like, same. Like, what's happening?
So first of all, Kate, you didn't mention it, but it's a cold open.
It was a cold open! Yay!
However, once the credits came, Family Matters.
Yep.
Every show that you could think of in, like, late 80s, early 90s, where they're all just, like, pausing into these moments, and it's, like, Alyssa Milano doing, karate, and then, like, you know, him laughing, and the beginning of the movie was so awesome, and then it goes to these cheesy credits. You're like, this stinks.
It literally goes from ice cream eating to karate to feeding a deer to piggyback rides to fishing. And then she gets another kind of piggyback ride.
I just wrote Father of the Year, Arnold.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wait, I feel the music. I feel like there's a little bit of a Miami Vice kind of like
Yep.
feed into it. And then the steel drum soundtrack, along with so many Uzis that are used throughout the movie.
And the fucking...
It's like, da 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 da.
But then there'd be the saxophone that's like... And I was like, why?
Wow!
Who invited that guy? Damn it.
Well, don't worry, because the patriarchy takes over, because Alyssa Milano is making a sandwich for her dad. And she's 12. Why?
But, Rich, we don't have time for fucking sandwiches because there's a goddamn dramatic helicopter that the camera focuses on for what felt like 20 minutes.
Okay, at the time, I think they were, like, trying to be serious of, like, look how cool all this action stuff is. Real helicopters, real, like, blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, there are severe Bob scenes we will talk about. But
Yeah.
the chopper, I was like, there's no, like, CGI to this. That's, like, a real helicopter.
Well, I don't know. This helicopter, I just felt like we were looking at it for a long time, and it was very drama. And then right away, you find out this is where we get, like, somewhat of the backstory, where it's, like, Arnold's old... So, okay, can we explain, because Katie's ignorant, Commando means... Where... What did I do? Who am I? Mo's help.
What Mario level is Commando in the Air Force, Army, whatever?
Is it, yeah, where
Special
are,
ops.
like, what branch are we? Or, Or are we just a commando?
So they left it kind of ambiguous. So Arnold Schwarzenegger and his team, and he led this team with Bennett and some of these other guys.
Yeah.
And they were commandos, but they didn't say what branch, or maybe they're with the CIA, or who knows, but they were this special elite military team.
So is it commander, and then general is above commander?
No, so commander is a rank, but only in the Navy.
Well, he's
so
a commando, Bridge.
Yeah.
It's not a commander.
That's the Spanish version for the male. No kidding.
A little teal day on the top.
Wait, so what is that a made up name? Commando?
No, commando is like, it's describing what they are. That's like soldier or pilot.
So
Commando. It's not a rank.
technically, are you a commando?
I am decidedly not.
You're
Never
a commando.
was a commando. No.
Can you carry a tree?
No.
Can we zoom in on your bicep, please?
Ooh, yeah.
If you can zoom really far and zoom really big.
Okay.
So I don't think I know anything right now, but so
it's just a term for like a soldier.
So it could be
Yes.
anybody.
Yeah.
Commando is like a kind of a generic term for like an elite soldier.
Okay.
Oh, elite.
Oh, elite. Okay. So okay.
But can we talk about the sexual chemistry between the general and Arnold?
Okay, we're gonna
Like,
talk about
were
that.
they in love?
And then we also need to talk about the sexual chemistry from Bennett to Arnold, because I think everyone wanted to have sex with Arnold if they were a man. Something's happening.
Well, he's commando.
I mean, he's a commando, question mark. We don't know. I love when he steals the guy's gun, because, I don't know, like, Moes, would you do that to your old boss? Would you, like, disarm them and haha? Or are you gonna get shot in the face? Because I'm scared.
That was a little weird, and I'm with Bridget, the whole vibe with them wasn't,
Yeah.
He says, he goes, silent and smooth, like always. Oh, gross. That's your boss. You don't have to take that.
Yeah, I love during this part, like, Jenny, who's Alyssa Milano, she fucking comes out, she's got the biggest sass I've ever seen, and she's like, you better not be taking my dad, because we're busy making fucking sandwiches and doing shit in the woods. And they're like, oh, we're just gonna, like, talk, like, adult stuff, and she's like,
She pulled the, you got a warrant? I was like, oh, wow.
She knows her rights, so.
Yeah, I feel like the whole witness protection that all of Arnold's team was supposed to have are all dead, and Arnold, like, didn't react.
So was it witness protection, or was it just secret shit they did, which, if it's secret, you wouldn't need to be a witness protection?
Oh.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's the X-Files music I'm singing, because... No, not the saxophone.
80s music.
Not that. I don't know. I was a little fuzzy on that.
Yeah, my take was they weren't in witness protection or anything. They were just all these retired commandos that had gone on to live their civilian life.
Yeah.
But how do they know about his team? Or is his team,
Well,
like,
they
well-known
knew-
people?
So they knew because of Bennett, because he was like, Bennett,
Oh.
you snitch.
It was a traitor.
But then Bennett, like, got kicked out, which I don't think I got an answer on why he got kicked out. I know he's a fucking weirdo, so I'm sure that's why, but, like, did we know what happened?
They never said anything about that in the movie. And, like, this movie was not strong on, like, backstory
No.
or plot or any of those
we're
troublesome
asking
things.
too many questions.
But that would have been something interesting, just like a little bit of 3 minutes of exposition.
I thought at the end we were gonna get some, like, backstory, some weird, like, villain monologue as Bennett's going crazy in a boiler room, but we didn't, so it's fine. Well, don't worry, because when you are surrounded by military personnel and everyone's super smart and trained, and even Alyssa Milano knows karate, we all miss the, like, 5 guys chilling in the bush over there? Okay, that's good. That's great. That's good.
So this moment when Arnold leaves his child
Hated it.
to go run and get a rifle in an outhouse?
In a shed.
Not
In a
not
shed.
Not the
And
shed.
I looked at you and I said, why would you leave your kid to go get your gun? And then you were like, why would you put your gun out there?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought that was, like, I was like, what a responsible gun owner. He keeps it, like, away from his kid.
Oh,
But
see?
I don't know. But I'm not a gun owner, so I also have no personal experience with that.
I know nothing either. This gave me serious Taken vibes, though. It was like Liam Neeson, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Could never.
Oh my God. We didn't see
Wow,
Liam
wow,
Nielsen's bicep in that movie.
No, we did not.
No.
But Alyssa Milano's like hiding under the bed, and that gave me some serious Taken vibes.
Yeah, that's not the best place to hide. I think that's the lesson we need to learn one day, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because Arnold pushes a car down a cliff.
Yep.
And somehow doesn't die. And every giant action move he does that is so dramatic, he should have broken bones.
Yep.
He literally like skips away frolicking to his next, like nothing at all hurts Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's like the fucking Hulk.
Because he crashes into a tree, and then he just casually opens the door while everything explodes around him. No limping, no nothing. And he's like, then I'm gonna murder the rest of you.
Yeah, because he gets kidnapped, because we see the bad guys eventually, like, surround him. And then this is where we find out a twist, in quotation marks, that Bennett is alive. And my exact words were, oh my God, Bennett, we thought you were dead. Also, who's Bennett? Because he was told that it died and we saw it and then he didn't. And I don't know how we lived, but we did. So, he wore a chain link sweater vest.
This was also the sexual, like he looked like one of the cast members of
The Village People.
The YMCA.
The Village People?
The Village People.
The Village
Yeah.
People.
Yes. Definitely porn star vibes with the mustache. I mean, wow. What division was this? This is like
Was
sexual
there-
CIA.
Is there a dress code? What's happening?
And you had, a guy with bad mustache and chainmail. You had older balding man who I guess is good with the ladies, and then you had Arnold. So yeah, it was.
And Kate,
It's
a
a weird
throwback
team.
to the Addams Family. Tully shows
I
up.
know! I was like, Tully, you son of a bitch.
He's always up to no good, as Gomez says.
Yeah. So his whole thing was he wanted to become the president of somewhere, but in order to do that, they had to kill the president. Is that the
We didn't follow
story?
the plot.
Yes,
Oh,
no.
okay. Oh, you did. Okay.
That was more for Moes Bridge, but
Thank you. I'm gonna go get a beer while you guys figure this out. Okay? All right, keep going. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't stop. Keep going. Keep talking.
And I forgot his name.
I don't know, because I just kept calling him Tully.
Arius, which I think they use his name maybe only like once or twice
Okay.
throughout the whole movie. But Arnold, while he was a commando, had helped to overthrow Arius and install a democratically elected leader or whatever of Valverde.
Oh.
And that's why they went to him to go back down there, because he was buddies with the president and he could get close to him to kill him.
Wow. See, I missed, like, all of that. I was like, okay, he's, like, a commando, so he's got to go be an assassinator. But that makes more sense now. So what, that guy gets a backstory and everyone else is just called fucking commando and we have to accept it? Jesus. All right.
What about the commandos, you know? So,
That's Jenny.
all right.
Yeah.
We eventually then realize that they're throwing him on a plane.
Yes.
And they're going to send him to a made-up country. What is it called?
Valverde.
And Arnold is like, oh, no, you ain't. And pulls some moves and some lines.
Well, they're in the airport, and then this comes back later, and as they're talking in the airport and giving Arnold shit and everything, and can I say shit?
Yeah. You
Oh.
could say whatever you want.
And Sully said, here, buddy, have some beers in Valverde, Matrix. It'll give everyone more time with your daughter. And the other bad guy laughs, and Matrix looks at him and is like, you're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
He had such, like, serious deliveries in this movie.
All day, literally making breakfast. Moes would open up the fridge. He's like, that is why I will kill you last, Sully. I was like, what are you saying? All day.
And he does revisit that line, and I love how they do it. I thought that was funny. And
Love
it was
it.
supposed to be funny. But yeah, that guy was a fucking creep, and I got nervous he was coming on the plane too, but he wasn't, so cool. I don't know the name of the other guy that gets on the plane, but
So it's like he takes him on the plane, like fugitive style, and then Arnold just casually asks for a pillow and a blanket, breaks his neck, and just sends him snoozing.
Now,
No.
guys, like,
what happened?
you know, I can't afford first class, but I know you two, you know, sometimes live as a high life. How many times do you think you've been flying first class as someone's been murdered via neck snap and you haven't noticed?
Awkies.
/ do you think someone could get away with this in first class? Because I feel like probably. Because, like, who gives a fuck?
Kate, not only is Moes my husband, he is also an expert in all things airplanes.
Yes!
Tell us about it. What are the stats?
Wait. I have to move back a little bit.
I'm so sorry for speeding along. We'll go back.
No.
I'm so sorry.
I remember at one point seeing a big discussion about this movie and the whole concept that he hits Henrique's nose with, like, his elbow, and then he kind of twists his neck. But I think the concept there was he hits him in the nose and it with, like, an upward driving force, and in theory, you can kill somebody by shoving their nose up into their brain. And I always thought that was the thing with this movie, but then he also does, like, a little neck twist after it, right?
He does
This is
So-
like, this is a man
aggressive
thing. I don't know what's happening.
neck twist, and it makes a loud crack that I was like, is anybody going to look behind their seats? Because that's not a normal plane noise. So, okay.
I thought you were going to talk about the airplane and how the hell did he get out of an airplane? I don't know. The bathroom, to the luggage. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a whole other thing. So he dispatches Henrique's, right?
Yeah.
And he, and of course, in one of his, I don't know, this is probably quippy one-liner number 37 out of 112. He's like, please don't disturb my friend. He is dead tired.
That's right.
He goes to the back of the airplane. He faints being airsick. And instead of going in the bathroom, so I don't know if you remember, they do a quick, like, close-up on, like, his face as he's, like, standing.
Yeah.
So that airplane he was in was a DC-10.
Oh.
And I don't think they had it in those airplanes, but in other similar large airplanes, they had a little elevator that would go from the main deck down to the baggage compartment.
What? In the bathroom?
No.
Oh. I'm like, I'm going to be on the toilet just trying to survive this plane ride, and I'm going to go down an elevator.
Awesome.
Wow. That's a big plane.
Yeah, well, it was going all the way to Valverde, and it was an 11-hour flight.
That's true. It's a long flight.
So he goes into this elevator, gets down into baggage, and then he, like, busts through a wall.
But it was, like, just kind of like a fabric wall, and he kind of rips through it. But there's a zipper there. He could have totally used a zipper. But for whatever reason,
We don't go through doors and walls normally in this movie. We just hurl our body at them. So
He is the Kool-Aid Man and the Hulk. But then could you actually get to the wheels from this place? Like, how did he got to the wheel?
That's, like, reasonable. Like, I'm not that familiar with that airplane, but, like, that, I think, is reasonable. When he opens up that hatch, there probably would have been, like, all kinds of lights that popped on in the cockpit, and the pilots would be like, whoa, something's wrong, we gotta stop!
Well, they don't notice the dead guy sitting in first class, and they're supposed to get the most attention from all of us, so I don't really know if they would notice, to be honest.
She brings up a good point.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
but I'm just gonna say that this then leads to the biggest Bob scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait, before we go that, the biggest what scene?
Bob scene.
It's a Bob.
Okay, he doesn't know what a Bob
Oh.
scene. Do you not listen, Moes?
Oh!
I thought you were a loyal listener.
We don't always
Oh, no.
talk about Bob scene.
Oh,
We
no.
should refresh our listeners for what Bob scene is. Listeners, a Bob scene it's a scene that was essentially the idea of an old, crusty white man named Bob. And Bob doesn't get out much, and he's probably not married. Pretty sad. But he's got a lot of ideas, and he's a man. Therefore, we must put it in the movie. And most times, in fact, all the times in our case, it's a really terrible scene or a really dumb decision. So, Bridge, talk about this Bob scene.
I feel like this Bob scene, it's the scene in the movie that takes you out of the movie because it is so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And how high do you think he was? I mean, he was like 1,000 feet in the air.
At least 500.
Okay.
Tough to tell, but
500. 500 feet in the air, and Arnold's just white-knuckling it, holding the wheel to this plane that is clearly just going higher and higher up.
It went airborne, yeah.
And he sees water, and I'm like, okay, I'm driving. If you're gonna, like, jump out of that, you don't want to hit concrete, you want to hit water. So then you see him drop, and all of that was actually, like, pretty decent, like, camera work. You're like, okay, he looks like he's in the air and dropping. But then the drop scene was like, we went to the fucking Muppet movie.
Yep.
And we're hanging out in the creek, and he just It's as if he jumped 10 feet.
Yep.
Or not even. He just like jumped over a rock, and that was how he landed. And it just took me out of the whole movie. I laughed so hard. Like he fell 500 feet in the air and only like went up to his knees.
Yeah.
You're like, stop it.
I don't know why he didn't let go, like, right when you got out. Like, I was like, why are you chilling?
I liked the build-up. I liked the climbing down on the nose gear.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a little bit far-fetched, but it's like, okay, it's still within the realm of possibility. There have been, like, stowaways who have climbed up into wheel wells.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you referring to Toy Story 2? Because I saw that movie. If not, I can't relate.
So later on, they show him coming out, and they establish that it's LAX.
Uh-huh.
And LAX is right by the ocean, but somehow he's jumping into a swamp. And it's like,
Yes!
I feel like that was such an easy win there. Airplane goes out over the ocean. John Matrix Commando jumps into the ocean. He swims back to the beach. He's like, I must go save my daughter. But instead, he's in this weird swampy area.
Well, Moes, this is why. It's Bob. That was Bob.
Bob did
It's
that. Bob's fault.
Bob didn't look up on a map where LAX is. Because it's Bob. So, yeah.
Ew, but then we have like a creepy scene with Sully that's like sexually harassing Cindy.
I literally wrote, I go, this is the most realistic scene in this fucking movie, and I'm so mad about it. This poor woman gets harassed for like, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes straight for no reason. It's terrible.
If you're at the airport and you're on the phone and some guy is behind you being like, didn't sound like a good combo. Want to go on a date? I'd be like, I'm going to take this phone and smash it on your face.
I wish she did. That movie could have been
Wow.
so different. Yeah, but basically, so this is Cindy. Cindy's a flight attendant who has like a layover. I don't know what the word is. I don't know.
No, she she's on the phone and she's like trying to make a date with a guy, and she makes a comment like, "Oh, my flight got canceled, so I'm in town." And she gets turned down, and Sully hears her, and then he decides to roll in.
This mall, by the way, was from Terminator. Same mall.
Oh! Wait, Terminator 2?
2.
2, yeah, because there wasn't a mall in Terminator 1. Wow, I love that. I also love how Arnold just, like, basically kidnaps this woman. Like, he could have just took the car, but, alright, we'll kidnap the lady, too.
I didn't understand why he had to kidnap her, but I guess he was like, he's always, as a commando, he's thinking 5-10 steps ahead, and he's gotta, like, be a secret agent, you know?
I guess. I don't know.
Whatever.
But he tries to make her help him with his plan, and that doesn't go great.
No.
And then we got mall cops. And if anyone knows Paul Blart Mall Cop, this isn't going well. Yeah. Arnold in a mall, never gonna go well. Jingle All the Way.
Never will.
Terminator 2, this movie, not good.
Not good, and he, as usual, demolishes everybody to the point that he rips a phone booth out of the ground. CrossFit could never. Could never. Rips a phone booth out of the ground. What's happening?
I would pay money to watch CrossFit people, like, try to do that. If they were like, this is part of CrossFit Games 2022.
Oh my god, Commando games!
Rip out the phone booth of the Commando games. Oh, there's a lot you could do with the Commando games. You gotta feed a deer out of your hand at one point.
Push over a Porsche.
Just shoot
Fall down a
everybody
cliff.
in the face.
Carry a tree. Sorry. Okay. But somehow we make it out, and he's continuing to steal this woman.
Yep.
Who now is on his side. I thought that was kind of a quick
I didn't
but
get that.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
following it, and he goes on a chase, and then you're also a car guy.
So Sully is driving this mid-'80s Porsche, and Cindy has got what looks like a little like Sunbeam Tiger, or maybe it's an MG. And like that Porsche could have just disappeared in front of Arnold there.
Fast and Furious Porsche.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
Sully didn't have his phone book to sit on to reach the pedals, so perhaps that was the problem.
That was a Sully burn.
Yeah.
But, and boy, oh boy, he just hangs him off a cliff.
And this is where he says, I know I said I was gonna kill you last. I lied. And then he just fucking drops him, and it was so goddamn funny. I laughed really hard at that. And then I laughed even harder because that scene immediately cuts back to the Cindy who's like this. She's like chilling against a fucking telephone pole, and she very calmly is like shaking her head like, and she goes, so you don't have a car now. That's what she says! The man just fell to his fucking death and exploded on the rocks. And homegirl is really casual.
Yo, Cindy gets dissed from one date and Stockholm Syndrome right there, baby. Shoot.
She's like, I'm ready to commit murder and crime. Let's do it.
Insane. But that character Sully, like, nobody liked him, so I was like, I'm actually really happy
Yeah,
he's
I was
dead. Like,
that was glad that happened
wonderful.
quickly. Yep.
But here we are now. I don't know, we have a car without a seat, and we're going to a hotel because we got a hotel key? That's what he got from him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the little, the little Reese's Pieces were falling, so we get to the hotel. Woo! This is like some Kill Bill stuff because, oof.
Yeah, a lot of interesting timing in this movie because pretty much like 5 minutes after they arrive and they're like, gosh, we gotta look for clues. Let's look around, and they don't fucking find anything. This is when the other bad guy, Cook? Okay, he like shows up, and then Arnold is like, listen, Cindy, I know you didn't sign up for this, but now you gotta pretend to be like a prostitute. Also, I'm gonna rip your shirt. Hope you're cool with it. Also, I didn't ask, but here we go. And then Cindy just does it.
Cindy's like, we gotta get your daughter back. I was like, Cindy, you need a hobby. Because first of all, Kate, also, side note, did that motel give you some Goofy movie motel vibes?
Oh my god, it was very Goofy movie-like.
Remember how we said we wanted to make a hotel like that? It was called, like, the Star. Remember it was like the...
It was like an
seashell
ocean
hotel.
theme.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then we were gonna make Possum Park in the back. Oh my god.
Wow, we have so many things to do that we haven't done.
Yep.
But that was a good fight scene.
Yeah.
Like, you said to me, you're like, Cook should have been Bennett in terms of the actors. Because he freaked me out, that guy.
Yeah.
He did. And he did return with Arnold 2 years later in Predator. So.
Wow.
Was he in Predator? So I recognize him from something.
But can we talk about how the 80s movie was doing so well, and then all of a sudden we had to see boobs?
Yeah. And that
Why
lady...
did we have to see boobs?
That lady looked like a lot older than the man who I was concerned was a boy, and I got worried about it.
I hate it.
It was kind of weird, but you know, 80s question mark. I don't know.
I was like, we're barreling through a wall, and now there's a lady naked, and what is happening? People are dying. There's boobs. What's happening?
And the whole fucking time they're fighting, Cindy is just like making background noises, like ooh, and then every now and then she throws in random like lines where she goes, "They're eating too much red meat." That's like one fucking thing she says, and then the part where the guy's like, "I'm a Green Beret," and Arnold goes, "Oh, I eat Green Berets for breakfast, and I'm hungry." Immediately after that, it cuts to Cindy, and she goes, "I can't believe this bunch of bullshit." And I imagine that she was saying it to that stupid line, and I said, "I agree, Cindy."
She's like, "Why am I in this movie?" And they're like, "Shut up, Cindy.
It's not worth it." Ah! Yeah.
But he dies. Then Cook's gone, and he's just killed. He's Uma Thurman. He's just slicing people left and right.
Yep.
And now, then the next nugget is, like, what did he get from that guy?
Well, Matrix and Cindy go down to Cook's car, and they do a Scooby-Doo style
so
search
Scooby-Doo.
for clues. And Cindy finds, and the fact that she's a private pilot, like, plays into it. She's like, oh, here's a receipt for fuel from this fuel dock a couple hours away. And we
Right.
But don't worry, because we're going shopping.
Except we don't go shopping, we commit more felonies. And we recruit a bulldozer? Did we need the bulldozer? Couldn't we just throw our body through the glass like we've been doing for the last hour? I don't know.
I got some serious Stranger Things season 4 vibes where they're planning for the apocalypse upside down world. They go and they get bulletproof vests.
Yeah.
I mean, Arnold gets flippers. He gets goggles. He gets so many weapons. And then the cops somehow arrest him. And he is like, I will follow your law. Like goes into the cop car. You're like, you've murdered everybody up to this point. The cops now will follow them.
And Cindy, who has a fucking rocket launcher and a bunch of other shit, they don't check the back. So Cindy is just like, bye. She just starts driving and follows them. And then Cindy decides, you know what? I've been seeing a lot of violence. I think it's time for me to be a part of it. Let me shoot this rocket launcher at this van of the person I'm trying to save. I didn't think it was a great plan. I'm really worried about it, but...
Wait, I asked you about this. Rocket launchers exist.
Yeah, did you not?
Why,
Yeah, I mean-
why wouldn't
But,
they
like-
exist?
But, like, people use them? Because I
So-
always thought it was just, like, a movie thing. And it's like, no, that's not, like, practical. People don't actually use rocket launchers, you know?
So rocket launchers exist. The military has rocket launchers. It's not impossible. It's a little bit far-fetched that the surplus store would have this, like, rocket launcher. That's...
Yeah, but they found in this secret back room.
Could you, by yourself, launch a rocket from this thing?
So that's the whole point. You're a soldier on the battlefield and there's a tank or what have you coming at you. You pull out the rocket launcher and fire it.
Holy shit.
Can I aim with the rocket launcher? Because she's just holding the big rectangle, and I don't know
Ooh.
how we hit
How do we know where
things.
it's going? Where's it pointing?
how does it
Where's
go?
the golf swing?
That's a little unrealistic that she, like, fires it and has such good aim. She just kind of picks it up and shoots. But not
She
before...
shoots the wrong way.
She shoots the wrong way. And it's like, whoopsie, and flips it around and hits the bread van.
You know, that whole, like, detour, I was like, we didn't really need this, but I guess we needed to watch a rocket launcher. Okay, fine. It's fine. Whatever.
Do you think Cindy was like, listen, part of my contract requires that I shoot some cool shit? And they're like, fine, we'll add in a
Like,
scene for you.
Fine, Cindy, we'll let you shoot this.
But then Arnold's like, all right, well, let's go. And they somehow go to a plane? What's happening?
Wasn't it like they go to a warehouse somewhere, something. They find out through maps there's an island and that might be where we're going. And then there's a plane to the island. So we're going to go to the plane. And then we go to the plane. And then Cindy flies the plane. And the plane had a weird name that I feel like was amphibian or something.
Yes,
Okay.
they go to this location where they bought the gas from. Seaplane is around there, but they go and they're digging around this warehouse. And they see all this military equipment, which I think was designated for the eventual takeover of Valverde. And then Arnold finds this map and he's like, oh, there's something going on at this island 2 hours off the coast of Santa Barbara. So not Valverde, this other island.
Yeah.
That's off there in the Pacific somewhere.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. And so then they go, and then what? Then they go to the amphibian, right?
They do, but don't worry because we have the weirdest special appearance from Bill Paxton.
I was like, yay, Bill Paxton!
After they take off.
After
Yeah.
they take off, Bill Paxton, I was like, Bill, what? Was this your first role? What's happening?
He was in the first Terminator or the second? He was in one of the Terminators. He was like a weird punk person.
I don't know, but he was like, we see something on the radar. And then Arnold's like, fly lower, they will not know you. And then she flies lower. And then we see,
No!
so we get to the island, and we see Arnold
No!
in the most speedo ever. And I gotta say, Kate, he's got such European vibes. Didn't think twice about it. I was like, yep, there he is in a speedo. Did it, like, stop you in your tracks?
Yeah, because I was like, why is Arnold in a banana hammock in this fucking movie about commandos? I don't understand. And then I was like, oh, I guess he'll be swimming? Like, that's why we took all our clothes off? Nope, he fucking is in a boat, and then he never gets wet, and I don't know why we were in a banana hammock, and then he puts clothes on immediately.
I do not know, but I gotta say, in 1985, where we're not having cell phones, Arnold would absolutely be dead if there was cell phones, because so
Absolutely.
many people were running with quarters to try to say, Arnold's coming, and they
Yes.
could never finish it
Yes.
because he was throwing phone booths everywhere.
This is also in here, one of the parts where Bennett is talking to Tully, and he's like, you know, Arnold's coming. He's gonna come. He's gonna come for us. It's gonna be crazy. And then the guy was like, why are you like hyping him up? He's like, I'm just saying. He's awesome. He's really great. He's the best. And I was
He's
like,
single.
is Bennett gonna like kiss Arnold when he sees him? Because I'm worried about it. He's also trying to kill him, and that's not great. So,
Oh my god. Wait, can we talk about those? So Arnold is finally dressed. Speedo, obviously, underneath.
Speedo, face, and body paint.
Oh my god,
What's
I said this. I go,
the point?
so he did the body paint. Okay, whatever. So he somehow plants explosives everywhere, but we only see one of them. And then he like walks away from it, and he, you know, hits his ridiculous button of some ridiculous technology, and it blows
Home
up
Alone.
like 10 buildings.
Yep.
I was like, what? is happening?
Moes, this was going to be one of my questions. So is that a thing? I can plant a mine over there in the 80s, and I walk over there, and then I blow everything up? Is that how I do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So those are called claymores, and it's a claymore mine. But yeah, you stick it in the ground, and it's remotely detonated. And the idea is you place it towards the advancing enemy, and it blows at them and kills them. But again, this is the 80s. They show him planting like 3 of them, and when he triggers it, it's like more explosives than, have ever been created since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Every single building in this compound explodes.
Yeah.
It was wild. I was like, so many people are dead.
So many people. Like, if somebody took account of how many people were murdered by Arnold, just Arnold, like, it would be in the hundreds.
And this is where the campy part came in, because, like, he's walking away with, like, flames behind him, and it's like, there's still things blowing up. Stop.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because he comes down from the ceiling like Spider-Man to throw some saw blades at everybody. Akis.
He throws knives at people? He obviously shoots everyone. People get blown up by mines, blown up by grenades. People get, like, their faces smashed against things. One guy gets, he gets, like, shanked with, like, a farm tool, and then there's a bunch of other farm tools that get used in that one scene where he was, like, in the shed. This is another shed reference, guys.
Wow.
Something's happening. Am I gonna have to defend my shed? Because I will. I spent labor on it.
Kate, you better put some cool weapons in that shed, because you never know what's going down.
Never know, and you'll have to hang on to the ceiling of your shed and
Hang that
shank
Speedo
someone
up.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And if you're going to hang anything in there, you got to have some skill saw blades.
Oh my God.
And-
Amazing.
And throw them like a throwing star.
That was
And
freaking crazy.
simultaneously, Alyssa Milano got away, and Bennett's coming after her, is like in some weird, creepy, dark basement.
Hate it.
Very Terminator vibes.
Yes.
And somehow Bennett's catching up to her, but Arnold is down there.
Nope.
Right?
He does, but you're missing, after blowing away however many hundreds of henchmen, he makes his way into the mansion, and he confronts
Tully.
We kept calling him Tully from Addams Family.
yeah, Tully.
It's Tully.
He confronts Tully, and we commented like, oh, he kind of died pretty quickly. There was like brief exchange of gunfire.
Dies
and
so
Arnold just
quick.
fills him full of lead, and like he's supposed to be kind of this very pivotal person, and they're just like, okay, now he's dead too.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like,
Gets shot out a
Moving on.
window.
no climax.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No, the climax is with the sexual tension between Bennett and Arnold.
Wait, and now I'm ruling that he throws a pipe through him. Kate.
Uh-oh. Sexual.
Ooh,
And it's
ooh.
steamy. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just wrote, wow, Bennett's murder boner is really big right now. So he needs to relax. Because this is how Arnold ends up besting him. Or, like, kind of turns it, I guess. Because Arnold's, like, injured, and then he gets shot, and so he's like, so he hides behind a pole, and then Bennett's like, oh, come on, come out, I'll kill you quickly, whatever. And then Arnold's like, oh, put away your gun. Come on, my arm is down. It'd be, like, really fun if we just, like, did a knife fight. And Bennett is like, anything you want, Arnold. I'll murder you any way you prefer, because I love
Whatever
you.
our safe word is.
I was like, this is inappropriate, and I don't know what's happening.
He throws Alyssa Milano and goes, I don't even need the girl. Sir.
He literally says that! I was like, I don't get it. What are we doing? What's happening? I didn't know anything that was happening at all. And there was a lot of crazy eyes all throughout, and...
Wow.
Oh, boy.
But Kate, the steam pipe,
Let off
throws
some
it through,
steam,
and then
Bennett.
he says, let off some steam, Bennett. So stupid. So he kills him, he gets his daughter, hooray. He literally murdered everybody. At the end of the movie, when the credits came up, did you see how many stuntmen were a part of this movie? Because there was like 200.
Oh my god, I believe that.
Because we talked about this. When somebody fell off a building in
Yeah.
this movie, they actually fell off the building.
Yeah.
And there was so so many henchmen murdered and so many like ridiculous scenes that it's like, wow, this is like the biggest list of like stuntmen ever.
Yeah, there was a lot of falling off buildings and all that, getting shot, and I don't even know.
Wow.
I was a little worried at the end that he was going to walk up to Cindy and like aggressively make out with her in front of his child, and I'm so glad they didn't do that. I was like, good job, 80s.
Yo, me too.
That was good choice. That was not Bob's choice. I know it. It was someone else, but good job.
I really feel like in all of the movies, like maybe Arnold is like a horrific kisser because like in a lot of movies he really just like sticks to the like action guy and not the action love guy because like I appreciated that too. But poor Bennett.
Well, had to let off some
On it.
steam, so let off some sexual steam.
Did we do it justice, Moes? What do you think?
So first off, I watched this movie when it came out on TV, and I won't say my age, but I was in middle school. I'm a little older than you guys, but everything. Anyway, moving on. I saw this movie when it first came out on TV, and little middle school me and all my middle school buddies the next day were like, oh, did you see that? And then he did the thing, and the thing, and the thing. And I loved it because it was like, it very much, you could see how it would appeal to a middle school boy's mind, right?
It is such a boy movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, he's death and destruction, but, like, also with funny lines, so it gives you, like, a pause to be like, yeah, versus being, like, scary.
And middle school boy as opposed to, like, high school or above boy, because there's not a lot of, like, sexy time. It's just, like, implied, but, like, we're here for beating people up. And you're like, that's middle school. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. And now watching it last night, I was like, wow, okay, it's still cool and still entertaining, but then you kind of see like the rough edges because it's this 80s movie, and you know, there were some things they weren't as good as with movies back then. But now that we're discussing it and you're talking about Bennett, and then Bridget mentions last night about how Arnold's boss, the general, and the weird sexual tension there, and I'm like, wow, there's kind of,
there's like a lot of sexual.
It's between all the men, which is like, I mean, kind of fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. But I gotta say, Kate, I honestly, well, I'll just ask you, watch it or don't watch it? Commando.
Well, I had never seen it before. I didn't hate it, but am I gonna reach for it again? I would watch it again with someone maybe who hasn't seen it to laugh along with them, but I'm not gonna watch it again on my own.
Moes, watch it or don't watch it?
I would bucket this movie as I would put it on again if I needed something kind of mindless in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, I laughed so hard. I was like, in capital letters, this movie is so stupid. I love it. Like, I just thought it was so ridiculous. I was like, I love it. I don't know. I could totally watch that again.
Well, Bridge and Moes, I have our next movie pick.
Ooh, and Moes, sorry, you will not be there for that. So,
but you should watch the movie anyway, because it's a bop.
What do we got?
Okay, so I need to preface because we're both gonna laugh really hard and everyone's gonna think I did this on purpose, and I didn't. I had this movie in my brain ahead of time for a reason. So, Bridge, we're in the month of September, and in September, everyone who works in a school becomes sad again because we all gotta go back to school. So, this is a movie about school, and this is in the 90s, so we're going back to the 90s. This is 1990 to be specific.
Oh.
It is listed as, first one's action, okay? Action, comedy, crime.
Oh.
And it may or may not star an actor that we really recently did a movie with.
With Arnold? Another Arnold movie? What is it?
This plan.
Kindergarten Cop?
It's Kindergarten Cop! I swear I had this plan. I was like, we're going to do this year in September, and I couldn't wait. I could have buffered it till later, but no, we're doing it now.
This is not Arnold's podcast.
This is the description. A tough cop must pose as a kindergarten teacher in order to locate a dangerous criminal's ex-wife, who may hold the key to putting him behind bars. It's just Arnold with a bunch of little kids, and it's cute. What can you say? There's a ferret in there, too, somewhere, so it's great. Yeah.
Wow, it's our Arnold theme.
It's Arnold theme. I mean, we could keep rolling with it and just do all Arnold movies this month, but I don't know.
Oh, shoot.
Wow.
Well, I think we should take a moment and thank Moes for being here.
Yes,
being our guest.
Moes, thank you so much.
It was an honor after listening to the podcast, and little did I know when I put in the suggestion that I would be able to come on with you. So.
Yeah!
Woo! Well, and thank you for having me watch this movie, because I would have never done it if you didn't recommend it.
Same here. I would have never watched this, ever.
Yeah. Well, and Bridge and Moes.
Yeah.
If you guys were... what were you guys doing? Well, I'm back at the front of my notes, so I guess I'll say this. If you guys were sleeping in bed and you may or may not look like Tony and Carmela Soprano, and the trash is coming around and you didn't put it out, I'd go out myself and I'd ask for some ID to these trash guys, because they don't look too familiar, and it's a little sketchy how they haven't picked up the trash from anyone else's. And I would avert a murder, I think. So I do that because I love you.
That somehow came back to us. Kate,
Bridge.
Moes, I hope you're following how we do this. If you decided to make Sammy's and a choppa was coming,
choppa,
I would tell you, I want you to come with me to go get the rifles.
Oh.
Because I love you.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't leave you alone.
And I wouldn't hide under the bed. Oh, thanks, Bridge.
That's how much I love you. Moes, you want to try it?
I think a good lesson for both of you two is if you're ever getting into your car and some large man with an Eastern European accent comes up and makes demands of you, you know what? It's going to work well for everyone if you just buy into it 110% right there from the get-go. Be like, follow that guy? Goddamn right. Let's go.
Yeah.
That seems unsafe, but okay.
I will get to shoot a rocket launcher, so I'm in.
Ooh,
Yeah.
backwards, forwards, you get to shoot it. Wow. And fly a plane.
Oh, and listeners, if you also would join Arnold in his quest, and if you think that shooting a rocket launcher might be kind of cool, and if you think that there was a lot of underlying sexual tension between the men, and maybe the 80s should have just made them all make out and get it over with, you should write us a review.
Hey.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So, listeners, this is what Moes did. Moes follows directions, and here he is on the podcast. That maybe, who knows, could be you one day. We don't know. We don't plan well. So
I love that you yell about following directions. Okay.
Yeah, so you can request a movie. There's a form you fill out, and you just go in there, you get on a list, and we'll do it eventually.
Boom.
And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee.
Whee!
There's a place that you can leave a tip for some coffee or rocket launchers or whatever.
Sure.
Okay? And any money that you give will go to us in this effort, and it makes us realize you like us.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to just give us money, you can buy things, because we have a merchandise section now. And Katie, you sent me a picture today where you were wearing your tank top again. I think you love it.
I love that tank top. It's
You
so
love your
fun.
Men in Black, your Independence Day
Independence
tank top.
Day. Yeah, I love
Wow.
that tank top.
And we've added more. There's some cool keychains, there's magnets, there's koozies, there's everything you can imagine. Check it out. If you listen to the pod, you get the inside jokes. You could wear it, and people be like, where's that? And you'd be like, you don't get it. That's what you could say to them.
You're not one of us, but you could become one.
You could. Check it out.
Click like, subscribe. Yes. So check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, thank you again to Moes. Woo! Special guest
Thank you,
Moes.
sisters.
Hey!
Yeah. And we'll see y'all next week for Kindergarten Cop with more Arnold.
More Arnold. Get to the chopper.
It's not a tumor. That's the line I remember this movie. So funny. Oh my god.
Can you finish with your Sully line, honey?
Sully, remember when I said I would kill you last? Yeah, Matrix, you did. I lied.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Don't be Sully. Bye-bye.
Fall off a cliff. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.